Hey YouTube, today I got a deck profile for Cardfight Vanguard. This one's going to be a Coral deck profile. It's the new ride chain that came out in the Dazzling Divas extra booster. That's the latest booster that just came out. I completed the deck here, so I'm just going to go through it. This ride chain is, I don't know, it's not that great from my playtesting of it, but it works okay. So the starter is Angelic Star Coral. This is the grade 0 for the ride chain. When you ride this with Fresh Star Coral, you get to look it up to 7 of the top cards of your deck and search for the grade 2 or the grade 3 of the ride chain. So those of you that are familiar with ride chains, you know how this works. Those that aren't, ride chain, basically, it's a themed type of card that basically it levels up over time, and it gets effects based on having the previous form in the soul. Next, I've got 4 heals. Just generic heals. This is the any heal for Bermuda works. Then I've got 4 critical triggers as well as 4 more. This is the new one from Dazzling Diva. These are the generic ones. They have no effects. They're not themed like the prisms. And then last, I've got 4 of the new draw trigger. I could have run 12 critical, but I preferred to keep a little bit more hand advantage. So I went with 4 draws, and this is the new generic draw, and it has an effect, put it into the soul. Search or choose a Bermuda Triangle, gets plus 3,000. Moving on to the grade 1. 4 Fresh Star Coral. This is the grade 1 for the ride chain. So when you ride on top of this with the grade 1, you get to look at the top 7 and search for the grade 2 or the grade 3. Next, 4 Sentinels, Mermaid Idol Elly, followed by 3 8K Vanilla, Mermaid Idol Sedna, 3 because I had to add in Mermaid Idol Felucca. Felucca is really good for soul charging, and this deck does rely a little bit on Soul Blast, so I put Felucca in as a kind of like an engine. That's the grade 1s. For the grade 2s, 4 Shiny Star Coral. This is the grade 2 for the ride chain. So ideally what you would do, if everything's going according to plan, as with all ride chains, you ride on top of this grade 1, then you ride the grade 2, and then finally you'll ride the grade 3 at the end. But this one actually doesn't have an effect when you ride the grade 3 on top of it. It just has its own special effect where when an attack hits, you get to bounce a front row, and then if you have the grade 1 in the soul, you get to bounce a back row as well. Next, 4 Girls Rock Rio. Girls Rock Rio, I just put it in because it's really good overall for Bermuda Triangle because they rely on bounce, and this card's effect happens when it's returned to the hand, although it does cost counterblast. Next, 2 Mermaid Idol Flute. I went with, 2 Mermaid Idol Flute, and then I put in 1 Top Idol Aqua. And the reason why I went with this is because Flute can be 11k when you have a full field, basically. So this thing can put pressure on opponents who run 10k Vanguards if it doesn't have anything to boost it. But I don't run 3 of it because you don't want to rely on it. You never want to ride this as a Vanguard because it's only 8k. So that's why I left Top Idol Aqua, just kind of like an anchor unit because of the 10k vanilla. It's just a little bit more consistent than having an 8k that you try to get to 11k. So moving on to the grade 3s. The star of the card, 4 Aurora Star Coral. This is the main Vanguard of the deck. It's the grade 3, top of the ride chain. It has a limit break effect. It's pretty decent. And as with all ride chain themed cards, if you've got the previous grade or the previous form in the soul, it gets plus 1000. Permanent, it's a continuous effect. It's active even on the opponent's turn. So it basically makes it 11k, but that's only if you pulled off the full chain properly. So that's another reason why we try to run a soul charge engine with Felucca, so that just in case you may soul charge this into the soul if it's not in there, or if you soul blast it away. Next, 2 top Isle of Flores. This is good as a Vanguard if you just can't draw into Coral, but its main purpose is as the Rare Guard grade 3, because it's 10k, and when it attacks, it can hit anything. It can hit Rare Guard or it can hit Vanguard. You can Soul Blast 2 to bounce a Bermuda Triangle. So it works really well with Girls Rock Rio, and that's another reason why, because it's Soul Blast 2, again, you need to Soul Charge a lot. So these units help you Soul Charge. And actually Coral does help you Soul Charge as well. That's her limit break effect on Counterblast. And then the last unit, I put in 2. This is kind of like a toss-up. You can put whatever you want. You could even run the Break Ride if you want to mix Prisms in. But I tried to keep all the Prisms out of this deck. But I put in 2 Bermuda Princess Lena. She's real good if you don't have any, like if your ride chain's all messed up. This is kind of like your backup plan. So you just ride this and then bounce every single Bermuda Triangle. So that gets Girls Rock Rio's effect instantly. That sends Felucca back, so you can Soul Charge again. It helps fix a lot of things that if things aren't going your way. So I hope you guys enjoyed the deck. The deck overall is pretty fun. It's not that great. I mean, I've built better, more competitive Bermuda Triangle decks in the past, but this one's still pretty fun to play as. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, rate, comment, subscribe. Thanks.